Hi, YouTubers. Something important. So, anyway, I'm in the garage again. Guess what I'll be doing in my parents' house? Smoking a nice big ass cigar. It's a big ass cigar for life. Anyway, the housekeeping, smoking this nice Gran Habano cigar, nice big ass cigar. It's a big ass cigar for life. Anyway, gotta get this bad boy fired up. Anyway, not too windy today, so I won't have to worry as much about the damn wind. So, sorry, cigar made me a little, gave me a little dry throat. So, now there is the wind. Crap. So, you know, nothing gets better. So, anyway, just gotta go over there and light the cigar. Sorry, I'll be right back, YouTubers. One sec. Damn. And now my nose is itchy. Crap. Okay. And of course, the cigar is making me salivate, so making me salivate like a son of a gun. Anyway. Okay. One sec. Anyway, so sorry it took so long to get the damn cigar lit. So cigar just being kind of a pain in the ass, like the big ass cigar. So anyway, now I'm sure most people have noticed already. Most people have noticed the haircut. So I did a haircut just now in my house, my parents' house. I shaved my bangs. I shaved my sideburns right here, and I shaved the back of my head right here. So anyway, I did that because it was getting kind of messy. So my hair grows very kind of thick, you know, really thick. So and it's been a while since I get myself a haircut. I also get myself a beard shave. And honestly, it's cheaper than going to the barber or going to the hair salon. So, you know, getting your haircut is not cheap. It's not cheap ass like the big ass cigar. Anyway, yeah, getting your haircut is pretty expensive for, you know, it's pretty fucking expensive for a better word. So, yeah, it can be like $50 to get your haircut for two people. So, anyway, so what's new with me? So let's do a check-in. I woke up today around 9:30 or so. I did my, I woke up, took a shower, took a dump, you know, just nice big ass dump like the big ass cigar. I don't have to really mention that part. Obviously the crap or the piss, you know, because obviously that's kind of personal, like TMI. TMI means too much information. So, but it's important actually because you might say, so smoking acid, how the hell is a dump important, you know? And the reason is because of my weight. So I weighed myself this morning, and I also weighed myself last night. Yeah, I weighed myself last night. I was 235, and this morning I was 232. So that is the lowest I've seen my weight in a long time, and I mean a very fucking long time. So that's the lowest I've seen my weight in a very long time. I can't even remember the last time I was 232. I've seen it as low as 234. I'm actually not surprised in some ways because the hot peppers, I've been eating, not hot peckers, but peppers, like jalapeno peppers and habanero peppers, are supposed to be really, really good for your metabolism. So, and everyone knows that metabolism helps you lose weight. So, when you're young ass, like the big ass cigar, your metabolism is really, really high. Like when I was in high school, I dropped, I think, like 50 pounds, 55 pounds over the course of like 6 months. And I went from being like 235 to being like 184, like almost 60 pounds. And as you get older, your metabolism gets slower and slower. Some people tend to have more by genetics, more faster metabolism. I think my grandfather had pretty good metabolism. I'm not going to mention the name, not going to do any kind of dog. You get the freaking point. So, yeah, he had pretty good metabolism because he could eat a lot of fatty foods, a lot of like fatty foods and not gain weight. So, unfortunately, as a very, 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 very early middle-aged adult, early 30s, I don't have as good metabolism as him, and I can gain weight very quickly. So, yeah, last year I put on 10 pounds over the course of 3 months by drinking all that crappy, shitty soda and all that crappy, shitty, juice. So, I don't have, as good metabolism as him. And same goes with my dad. Again, not going to mention names, that kind of crap, that kind of shit, So, anyway, so, yeah. I am happy that I'm down to 232. So that means if that's accurate, which I'll weigh myself again tomorrow, just to see if it's accurate, because a lot of it depends on how much water you had to drink, how much salt you had in your diet, and also like, when you took a piss, you took a dump, whatever, if it's accurate, that means I've lost 17 pounds since May. 17, not 70. So 17 pounds since May of 2021. So that means over the last 10 months, I've lost 17 pounds, which is close to 20 pounds. And that's actually really good because they say every 20 pounds you lose, significantly helps your blood pressure. Like for every 20 pounds you lose, you could reduce your blood pressure by as much as 20 points. And also keep in mind the fatty liver of me, I have to really be careful with the fatty liver because I have a little bit of fibrosis in my liver, not related to alcohol. I'm not an alcoholic or, a drug addict or anything like that. So I'm not somebody who's, sitting there drinking Jack Daniels all day long. I'm somebody who only has at the most one drink a day. And there'll be days I'll just be too tired to have a drink and I just won't have a drink. So I've never had a problem with alcohol in my life. My fatty liver is weight related and diet related. It's more specifically related to back in 2017, me eating a lot of ice cream, a lot of red meat, and a lot of very sugary foods like sugary soda. So that's where I got my fatty liver from, and the very mild fibrosis or scarring is from high fatty foods, high sugary foods. Some people get a fatty liver, actually a lot of people get a fatty liver from alcohol intake, from being an alcoholic or a heavy drinker and drinking heavy hard liquor and very frequently. So, but my doctor has made it very clear, in your case, it's not alcohol related. So my fatty liver would be referred to as a non-alcoholic fatty liver, or NAFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, because it's not related to alcohol intake, because I have never had a problem with alcohol in my life. Like maybe once a year I might have two or three drinks, once a year I might have 2 or 3 drinks in one day, but that's very rare. That's like once in a fucking blue moon. So in my case, it's not alcohol related, nor is it drug related. I don't do any kind of recreational drugs. I don't smoke marijuana. I don't do coke or heroin or any kind of recreational drugs, pills. The only pills I take are medication is prescribed to me. I take medication to help me sleep. It's obviously prescribed to me by a valid doctor. So that's the only medication I take. So I'm not somebody who like pops speed or does heroin or any kind of like any kind of recreational drugs that would damage your liver. So I'm not somebody who has ever engaged in any kind of recreational drug behavior. So my fatty liver is clearly related to obesity, because even at 232, I'm still considered obese. It won't be until I'm about 200, about 200 on the dot, I'm not considered obese. And even 200 is pushing it. So even 200 is considered pretty much obesity. So it's not until you get into below 200 that, you're considered non-obese, you're considered just overweight. So Excuse me. And a lot of that has to do with my body mass index, how I'm not super tall. Like, I have friends, one of my best friends is really tall, for example. Yeah, tall, kick you in the balls. Just kidding, just being silly ass like the big ass cigar. That was just a joke, by the way. Nobody actually kicked me in the balls. So, just being silly ass like the big ass cigar. So, anyway. Yeah, so I like to rhyme. Yeah, my friend is really tall. I have a couple friends who are really tall, and one friend is like 6'5" and 6'6", and I'm only like 5'9" and a quarter. So in terms of my height, not my what. So I'm not talking about my what. I'm talking about my height. So not my dick. So yeah, I'm only 5'9" and a quarter. So the doctor has told me that the ideal weight for me should be like 175 or like 170, and more realistically, a more comfortable weight is like 185, 195. So maybe at the most 200, but I mean 200 is even for me a little bit pushing it because I'm not as tall as a lot of people. Like my dad, for example, is about 6'1" in terms of his height, and he's about 6'1". So for him, being like 200 pounds probably wouldn't be the end of the world. But for somebody like me, who's a couple inches shorter in terms of my height, not my dick, would be actually pushing it. So my goal someday, like I've said before in my videos, and I've said to my nutritionist, like big ass nutritionist, like the big ass cigar, just being silly ass, like the big ass cigar, is to someday be about 200 pounds again. Because in the fall of 2009, before I even started this YouTube channel, I was about 200 pounds. I was about 200 pounds in the fall of 2009 when I saw my doctor, nice big ass doctor, like a big ass cigar, for my annual physical when I was 18 years old. I was about 200 pounds. So that would mean losing another like 30 pounds. So 30 pounds is not easy, especially at my age. At early 30s, it's damn hard. So I'm not going to kid you. It's like, that would require a lot of things that I enjoy really, really giving up. So and I know the trolls are going to be trolls. I know I have quite a few trolls following my videos, and they're going to be trolls, they're going to be bitches, they're going to be bastards, and say, oh, you stupid fatty, you probably smell like BO, you probably don't wipe yourself when you use the restroom, you probably have stains in your underwear, it's like, probably have skid marks in your underwear, you're this, all this crap, this crap, it's like, and, trolls will be trolls, and, screw them, F them. It's like, so anyway, yeah, so I'm not going to listen to the trolls. It's like, the haters, the flamers. So, but I will agree. I will say one thing I've said this before on my channel. This is not to dox people, whatever, but I will say this. I've been around people who are heavier, like 400. It's not very pleasant. So I can kind of see where they're coming from. I can kind of see what the BO and like the wiping yourself when you use the restroom, it's not a very pleasant smell. So yeah, I can kind of see where they're coming from. I haven't been around a lot of people like that, but when I have been around people like that, it's not a very pleasant smell. So I can kind of see where the trolls are coming from. I mean, obviously the trolls are bitches, they're bastards, but I mean, I can kind of see where they're coming from. It's not a very pleasant smell. It smells somebody hasn't taken a shower for a week. It's like, it's not a very pleasant smell. It's honestly pretty disgusting, to be honest, the smell of unwashed human for a week. So it's a pretty disgusting smell. So especially somebody who is not putting on deodorant, somebody who is running around and getting all sweaty, and somebody who's doing a lot of physical activity. It's not insane wearing the same clothes every single day and not washing their clothes. It's not a very pleasant smell. I haven't been around a lot of people. Actually, I've only been around a handful of people like that. It's not a very pleasant smell. So I can kind of see where the trolls are coming from. It's like, obviously the trolls are bitches, they're bastards, it's like, or they're idiots, whatever, they're jerks. It's like, but I would not want to sit next to somebody on a bus who hasn't taken a bath for a week. It's like, honestly, it's a really, really nasty smell. It's really not pleasant to be around people like that. And I know in other states, especially like southern states, states that are, less, whatever, not into politics and kind of bullshit, but there are some states, where that's more common, more prevalent obesity, and especially it's not a very pleasant. Let's just be honest, and this is not to make fun of people, to dox people, to hate on people, to do body shaming, whatever. It's not a very pleasant smell. It's not a very pleasant smell to walk into a bathroom after somebody who's very heavy took a crap. It's like, it's not a very pleasant smell. It's like, so I can kind of see where they're coming from with their complaint about people who don't clean themselves properly. I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to dox people, but it's like, yeah, everyone should take a shower every single day. Everyone should take a bath every single day. Everyone should put on deodorant at least once a day, because honestly, the smell of an unwashed human is one of the more disgusting smells out there. It's a lot worse than, like, for example, like somebody just like farted, for example. It's like, I know there's people who go crazy. There's people who go crazy when people fart. Like, they will actually get like, oh, if you fart near me, I will throw up. It's like, there are just some people who get really bothered by bad smells in general. Like, I get, oh, hi. Sorry, it's just somebody walking by. One of my neighbors walking by. Sorry about that. Like, there are some people, like, there are some people who get really bothered by smells. Like, for example, like I get really bothered, not so much by the smell of like body odor, for example, like farts, but I get really bothered by, or like bad breath, but I get really bothered by the smell of like overly, like putting on too much like perspiration, or like aftershave, or like cologne, or like, for example, like perfume. That's a smell I really don't like. So, and people are gonna be like, wow, Smokey Essie. It's like, you actually prefer the smell of bad breath, the smell of perfume? Wow, you must be fucking crazy, dude. It's like, like the smell of perfume compared to the smell of bad breath. It's like, I actually don't like the smell of overly perfumed. I would actually, and this may sound really weird, sorry to crack my knuckles. I would actually prefer, honestly, if I went out on a date with a girl, and this may sound kind of gross, and believe me, I don't have any kind of weird fetish, whatever. It's like, believe me, it's like, but yeah, I would actually prefer if the choice was a woman wearing too much perfume or deodorant versus a woman just like forgetting to put on deodorant. I'd actually prefer she didn't wear deodorant. And that may sound gross. That may sound like, wow, you must have like some weird whatever. It's like, but I'm not going to mention too much about that, because obviously that's against the YouTube ad-friendly guidelines to talk about that kind of stuff. But I mean, I actually would prefer that she didn't put on, deodorant and, load up like perfume, like body spray, all that kind of stuff, extra soap, this kind of stuff, because honestly, I do not care for the smell of that's a word for it, fragrance, sorry, fragrance. Fragrance is a word for it, so like excessive fragrance, I do not care for that smell. Like, there's one guy who I know of, I'm not going to mention his name, that's doxing, obviously, not going to mention his name on this video, but it's like, there's one guy I know who wears a lot of aftershave. He also smokes cigarettes. I'm not going to mention the name, but he smokes, and he puts on a lot of aftershave, a lot of cologne. It's like, whew, I can smell that like a mile away. It's like, holy shit. It's like, I've kind of mentioned this before. I think I mentioned this before in one of my other videos. It's like, I can really, really, really smell when he puts on aftershave. It's like, it's like that smell is super strong. And I don't mind a little bit of aftershave. Like, I've used aftershave in the past. Like, when I used to work at the law office, I used to put on a little bit of aftershave. But I mean, that smell, it's like, holy crap. It's like, it's so fucking strong, that smell. It's like, I've been around, women, especially older women, who like customers, who wear excessive perfume and fragrance, it's really not a pleasant smell. I mean, believe me, I don't want somebody to be sweaty, have sweat stains, pit stains, armpit stains, and be reeking of body odor, and have like shit marks in their underwear. It's like but it's like I would much rather my girlfriend, once in a great while forget to put on deodorant than wear a ton of like perfume. It's like, because I really don't like that smell. It's like, it's a really, really, it really gives me a headache. And I know some people say when they go into like a hookah bar, it gives them a headache, like a hookah bar, like a shisha bar. It gives them like kind of like a headache. I've known people who say that because hookah is very, very perfumey. That smell, same as vape, Yeah, same as like the vape pens, the e-cigarettes. It's a very strong like potent smell, and the same thing goes with fragrance and like perfume. It's like it may sound gross. It's like wow. It's like you'd actually want your girlfriend not to wear deodorant. It's like I do not like excessive fragrance or excessive perfume. They actually say in most employment situations, it's recommended that the less fragrance, the better. I mean, obviously, you should take a shower before a job interview. You should obviously put on deodorant, but the less, the better, because honestly, your employer, your prospective employer, does not want to smell excessive fragrance on your like musk smell. It's like because honestly, it's not a very pleasant smell. And I mean, people are going to be like, oh, you actually like the smell of BO. It's like, you actually like that fucking smell. It's like, what, honestly, if I had to choose between the two, a tiny bit of BO versus, or a little bit of sweat versus like that excessive fragrance, I'd actually pick the tiny bit of BO. It's like, because honestly, it's not a very pleasant smell, excessive fragrance. I do not like that smell. It's like, if I had to choose between, somebody came in from mowing the lawn and be a little sweaty versus like somebody wearing excessive perfume, excessive cologne, or like aftershave, I'd rather be around somebody who's a little sweaty. It's like, and there's going to be people who are the exact polar opposite, the exact fucking polar opposite, who are going to be like, oh my God, it's like, I can't even stand to be around any BO, it's any body odor, any sweat. It's like, it's the most disgusting, horrid smell in the world. It's like, same with farts or same with, shit. It's like, or crap. It's like, but honestly, it's not a smell I'm fond of, fragrance. Um, yeah, I've never been a big fan of that smell. So, kind of really hate that smell for a better word. Not really a big fan of that. Like excessive perfume, excessive fragrance, excessive deodorant, excessive, um, you know, fancy soaps. Like I used to know people, people who would, like for example, like Axe body spray, Axe body spray. I used to use that a little bit, but it's very also most of those soaps and deodorants like that are very high in alcohol. Not the alcohol you drink, not the alcohol you drink like vodka or like gin or like beer, but like alcohol in the deodorant or all alcohol in the soap. It also gives you wicked dry skin, so it really dries out your skin. It dries out your crotch. It dries out. Your armpits. It's like it dries out. Your skin. It's actually really bad for you. So. Or butter, sorry. And this is not a green light to say, oh, you shouldn't take a shower for like a week. It's like, I'm not saying that. It's like, but I mean, it's like, I really do not like that smell of like excessive fragrance, excessive like Axe body spray. It's like, it's really not a smell. Axe, I don't really particularly mind that much. However, some like body sprays and like perfumes, I can really smell that shit. It's like, I can really smell that shit a mile away. It's like, I mean, yeah. So, I've never been a big fan of that crap. So, so back to what I was saying, excuse me, saying about, the trolls. It's like, yeah, I can kind of, understand where the trolls are coming from, that everyone should have good hygiene. It's like, and that's where, unfortunately, when you get to be a certain weight, not trying to dox people, whatever, it's like, but we get to be a certain weight, unfortunately, it becomes a lot harder to clean yourself. So that's where it's like there's a limit, you know. Being in the 200s, that's one thing. Being in the 400s, the 500s, that's where you're going to see a smell. It's like, you know, and it's not a very pleasant smell. So, yeah, so not a whole lot more with me. I'm getting to the end of the cigar. Nice big ass cigar. This is a big ass cigar of life. Anyway, so I'll be heading back to my apartment tomorrow. I will be working Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, I meant to mention, I'll be coming home to my parents' house on next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, because I really haven't talked about this much yet, but I just going to talk about it. I'm going to be a little bit careful here with the privacy. Just going to be a little bit careful here, but my dad is having some surgery. Nothing serious. Nothing's wrong with him. He doesn't have cancer or anything like that. But he's having some surgery on his knee, and I'll be coming home for a couple weeks. So if you see more videos of me in the downstairs office, you know, doing videos, don't think, oh, he's moved back home to his parents' house, or like this is the rebirth of the Big Ass Cigars. It's because I'm actually helping out around the house with my father, who's having a knee replacement surgery. So he had a knee replacement, excuse me, he had a knee replacement surgery last year. He's having another knee replacement surgery this year. His other knee done. His, you know, and I'm going to be helping out around the house. So if you see more videos of me around the house for the next couple weeks, that's why. I still have my apartment. I haven't given up my apartment. That's the reason why. So. Yeah, some people think when they see me like around the house, you know, when they see me around the house, and of course the cigar band tour, damn it, son of a gun. You know, this is why I hate when, this is a pet peeve of a lot of cigar smokers, is when companies put glue on the cigars, damn it. God damn. Hate, and I know people are going to say, oh, you're not smoking far enough, dude. You're not smoking far enough to the band. Look at the cigar. There's only like an inch left, and it's because this freaking like glue they put on it or whatever. I'm not going to try to like dox the brand, whatever. It's like, you get the freaking point. So anyway, so back to what I was saying. So yeah, a lot of people think when they see me around the house too frequently, like around my parents' house, that I have moved back to my parents' house, and that kind of stuff. But it's just because I'm visiting. So I visit my parents a lot more often, a hell of a lot more often than the average person. So most people who have their own apartment only visit their parents like once a month. But I actually visit my parents a lot more frequently than most people. So anyway, so cigar's almost done. So I do hate that with the I freaking hate that with the band. So unfortunately, if you use your fingernails, I don't really have much fingernails. That's another thing you should do, is cut your fingernails, because that's also kind of gross, really fucking gross, is not cutting your fingernails. So anyway, so yeah, I do hate it when cigar companies either put glue or they put you know, too much like adhesive around the cigar band, and unfortunately the cigar band doesn't slide off very easily. So anyway, that's kind of a pain in the ass, like the Big Ass Cigar. Anyway, that's about it for me. So I will see you guys later. Bye, YouTubers. Pretty fucking cool.